doomsayers and doubters. You're going to go out of business. Famously, in the 1990s, you were supposed to be broke any month now, so forth. Now, the story is, well, the growth is slowing, the stock is going down. At Amazon, they pay everybody with stock. They have such low salaries. There's just going to be an exodus now that the stock is moving sideways. How do you, again, have your employees feel like, you know, I should stay here instead of the 900 other places that I could work? Because over the long haul,
you got to be somewhat quantitative about this. I mean, I went through, I think the internet bubble burst, the stock went from $113 a share to somewhere around six.
Bingo.
And so
I remember.
You know, now to me, that is a stock movement. And you know, so what people are talking about now is the stock. You know, I think if you look at like our stock price over a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it all looks pretty good. I mean, people. So it's just not quantitatively. Our stock is, you know, well within. It's a volatile stock. It always has been. It probably will be for, you know, we're a large company, but in many ways, because of all of our emerging businesses, we're also still a startup. And there's just a lot of volatility in startups.
If you go to Silicon Valley now, where they're competing fiercely for talent, it's basically like any company you go into, like a Disney cruise. They have the sushi chefs and the free this and the massages and all that stuff. I visited Amazon last year. I was startled to see that you make employees pay for lunch. It seems such an archaic concept. Famously frugal, low salaries, everything else. How do you do that? How do you get great people to work for you?
If you ever talk into some college student who you really care about, maybe a niece or a nephew, you should definitely advise them the best way to pick your job is who has the best massages.
It seems to work.
That'll be great advice. You'll really lead them in the right direction for the rest of their career. Well, first of all, you know, I'll give you some examples. We do have some very significant benefits at Amazon, besides compensation and restricted stock units and so on and so on. For example, we have an urban campus. It's way more expensive. We could save a lot of money by moving to the suburbs of Seattle, and we have chosen instead to build an urban campus. And it is, I think it's a spectacular benefit for our employees. I think it's one that they appreciate much more than free massages. And I'll give you some startling statistics. 15% of our employees at headquarters live in the same zip code where they work. 20% of our employees walk to work. So an urban campus is so much greener than a suburban campus because people aren't driving and parking and fighting traffic as much. And it's also just way more vibrant, which I personally believe also helps Amazon because it keeps people connected with this vibrant urban area. They're not insulated. You know, we have an unbelievable food truck scene around our headquarters. It's out of control, actually, how many, and if everybody just came in and had, you know, Amazon authorized food, and you know, there would be no food truck scene. There would be no vibrancy, there would be no connection. So we have windows that open in our buildings. That's unbelievable. Hard to do. Trust me, it's really hard to do. You have to work at it. The HVAC people hate it. They're like, no, you can't. Then people say, well, what if people leave the windows open while it's raining? I said, well, what if they put bugs in our code? You know, like, it's like, if somebody's to leave the windows open when it's raining, at least that'll be visible. You know, like, that's what, you know, all these strange objections, but people, it turns out, really like fresh air. So even though it's complicated to get the, you know, to have people have control of their own windows and it complicates the HVAC system, it's worth doing. And in a mild climate like Seattle, it's also very green. We let people bring their dogs to work. You know, again, some of these things are complicated, but they're all manageable. You know, we have 150,000 employees, 20,000 or so at headquarters in Seattle, and I think in 17 years of having dogs at the office, or 18 years of having dogs at the office, we've had like a handful of times where some dog has been banished because it wasn't polite enough. And so it's, you know, so I guess I kind of reject the premise. I think we have great amenities for employees. They're just not the same as what, you know, kind of what some other companies do. Those are fine too. I don't even claim our way is the right way. I
You famously had a very terrifying experience in a helicopter. Last year you had a very terrifying experience in a
Kidney
Galapagos.
stone was just painful. It turned out it wasn't. It's not dangerous.